In the shadow of this moment, David, we both knew forever that this day would come. How it is now that you, we were caught so off guard by it. I don't know. Not now. How could it be that we would be underprepared for the thing that was most literally an everyday reminder that there are no givens but from God? It is day 20 since you left this earthly realm, since you left me. I keep telling myself that this utter pain will somehow become more transient, less as the days go by. It is day 20, and it has not. I feel like a tragic hemophiliac, where it takes only the slightest scrape to make me gush out from the deepest parts of pain in my soul. These bleeding, bloody tears for which there seems to be no stop and no cure. So there is no resolution to missing you. Not now. I have spent the last 20 days in this house camping in the places that you last were. I cannot even go to our bed. I've piled it so high with so many things, so I wouldn't have to face your absence there. So I wouldn't have to face the side which will remain made up from now on. I cannot fathom the disorder of all of that order. I just instinctively knew that that was warring ground and a battle that I would have to fight another day. So I am supposed to be doing a eulogy, so to speak. So then let me speak about you. David, my darling, David Oliver, King David, in all of his ways. Flawed and beautiful and loving and temperamental. Bring me the one who ate the showbread. That David, the brave and handsome and strong and quick-witted one. Let me stand in the court of an intensely loving and kind warrior and shepherd and king. Your name, like your head, is crowned with oil. Bring me the little ruddy fellow with the slingshot and 5 smooth stones. Bring me the one who is brave enough to slay the Goliaths in my life. Bring me the one who understands his failures and is repentant. Bring me the one that feels overwhelmed at the enemies of this world. And God, I will ally with him in his cave. God, bring me a man that has not yet learned to pray loudly and openly and outwardly. And I will pray with him and honor his silence. I will pray over him, for him, and through him, until he dances right out of his clothes, until we began to shout upon the mountains our prayers to you, Lord, together. God, send me the man that is the broken vessel with the sideburns from 1972. And I will patch him up if you will patch me up. I will kiss and bandage his broken places as he kisses and bandages mine. And I will let him lead me as you lead him. I will finally have a chamber of rest in him, because it is by your glorious decree. And David will finally find peace and happiness and profound joy that only you could give through me. God, I don't know it possible to thank you enough for allowing me the honor of loving a man like David. God, when I pray to you, I know that my perfect man didn't have all these chips in him. I try really hard to be specific. So I went back to check the Amazon box. It did indeed, in fact, have my name on it. So I knew that it had come from you. I had been waiting on you, trusting you. So I had to do what you said regarding David, regarding him. And I knew that I couldn't ask you, God, for something and then be afraid of it. I told David that you had given me a very clear message to redeem the time. Before David even walked into my life, you told me, God, to redeem the time, to be ready. That is what we did do. And God, you showed me a basket of ripened summer fruit. And I didn't understand it then, but I do believe I understand it now. I didn't have time for fear, just faith, just your instruction. And so I told David these words, and I lived by them to keep my promise through you. I told David that I couldn't protect him from the storm, but that I would hold his hand through it. And I know it was only by your grace that I was able to do that. And then I asked him if he knew what a storm pit was. Followed by, have you ever heard of Marietta? Followed by, what I told him was that I was acquainted with storm pits in Marietta. And it is not lost on me at this moment that of all of the places we've been and traveled to redeeming that time, that Marietta was our last trip together. And that we were only there for a little while. And we drove right past where that storm pit had long since fallen in. We drove right past what used to be the shelter, and there indeed was a storm, unbeknownst to us, approaching. We drove past the shelter and into a storm that we would have to face exposed, but together. We would be exposed, but we would be together. And we've come through that storm now. The clouds have all broken, and all of our prayers together, God, you have answered. Every single one. David, we thanked God together before you left here. We thanked God for solidifying our family unit in love. We thanked God for the healing that you would receive on the other side. And we thanked God for extending time and grace to us for all of these years. Everything I did because I believed God and walked in faith. And I know today what it means that the stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. Just like I know that you, David, were perfectly suited to love me and protect our family through the shelter of your rock and your love, and to establish a foundation from which Zion and I will build and grow. David, I thank you for being the best husband, leader, listener, friend, father, coach, companion, fellow warrior, lover, prayer partner, and champion. You always woke up every single day caring about what I needed, and you made me laugh all of those days. You were my joy inside and out, and I will miss you so much more than I could broach to even describe approaching this day 21. But I am so happy that you are free. I am so happy that you are free. And I will continue to honor our promise to love one another and to love you past forever. My darling and my king.